Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. The most important news of today starts from the Supreme Court of Pakistan, where another attack has been made on the position of the acting Chief Justice. You know that whenever the current Chief Justice, who was appointed by Pakistani military generals, goes abroad, the acting Chief Justice takes over. You may recall that the Chief Justice of Pakistan was initially appointed as Justice Mansoor Ali Shah, but after the 26th Constitutional Amendment, Justice Mansoor Ali Shah's path was blocked, and Justice Yahya Afridi was made the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. At the same time, Justice Haji Amin Uddin was made the head of the Constitutional Bench. Whenever Justice Yahya Afridi travels abroad, whether for Umrah, a conference in Europe, or a family vacation, the acting Chief Justice takes over. Now the acting Chief Justice can either be Justice Mansoor Ali Shah or Justice Moeed, as both are the most senior judges after Justice Yahya Afridi. The Constitution of Pakistan clearly outlines the powers and rights of the Chief Justice, as well as the acting Chief Justice. Previously, Justice Amir Farooq, who was on the Islamabad High Court, never moved from his position, and now Justice Sarfraz Dogar has officially announced that he will not take any leave during the summer vacations. Whether it's a major or minor case, decisions could be influenced when the acting Chief Justice is in charge, especially if there is a case concerning a person like Imran Khan. A new attack on the Supreme Court of Pakistan has been launched, where the Judges Committee has curtailed the powers of the acting Chief Justice. You must have heard that on May 29, 2023, the Supreme Court, under the Practice and Procedure Act, introduced new rules, named the Committee Procedure 2025, which states that if the Chief Justice of Pakistan is abroad, the acting Chief Justice will fulfill the responsibilities in his absence. The Chief Justice can form a 2-member or 3-member committee, and that committee will decide which cases go to which bench. This decision was made so that even when the Chief Justice is abroad, there will be complete control over the Supreme Court, with Justice Yahya Afridi or anyone else, ensuring that no case is left to chance or handled in a manner that could cause further issues. After the 26th Constitutional Amendment, Pakistan's judiciary has been under control, and now the final adjustments are being made to prevent any weaknesses in the system. This is another strategic move against the judiciary. Moving on to the next story, you might remember that earlier Khawaja Asif made a statement, which he later regretted, where he said that Pakistan had been harboring terrorists for the last 30 years. This statement has caused significant international backlash, especially from India and the international media. As Pakistan's defense minister, this statement has put Pakistan under further scrutiny, as it is now being used against the country. Then, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari made another statement, saying that if India cooperates and engages in talks, Pakistan is ready to hand over wanted individuals like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar, who are internationally recognized terrorists. He made this statement during an interview with Al Jazeera. And although there were concerns about the authenticity of the statement, it was confirmed that he indeed said this. Now, India is making the most of this statement for its own advantage. Interestingly, it seems that Bilawal Zardari is speaking on behalf of Field Marshal and other generals, as it looks like this statement was made on their suggestion. Recently, Pakistan's former ambassador Abdul Basit appeared on television and suggested that Pakistan should recognize Israel, and even Najib Sethi has subtly made similar remarks. Alongside them, Rana Sanaullah has also mentioned that Pakistan, along with Saudi Arabia and Turkey, will make a collective decision on this issue. When asked about the situation if Iran does not recognize Israel and Saudi Arabia does, Sanaullah did not confirm if Pakistan would recognize Israel, but said that both Saudi Arabia and Iran should be on the same page. This suggests that there is a push to recognize Israel in Pakistan, and that this decision is being shaped by powerful figures in the country. Senator Mushtaq from the Jamaat-e-Islami party has issued a detailed statement demanding that Field Marshal Asim Munir clarify why he is considering recognizing Israel after his meeting with President Trump. The foreign policy of any country is always evolving, and Pakistan can adjust its stance as necessary. For example, Russia, which was once an enemy of the Taliban, now officially recognizes the Taliban government. This shows that foreign policies change with time, but decisions must be made in accordance with the people's will. Political parties should play their role in addressing emotional opinions and presenting well-reasoned arguments. However, it is not acceptable for one individual to decide the foreign policy of an entire nation. It seems that the decision to recognize Israel has already been made, and now only the announcement is left. Statements from people like Bilawal Zardari suggest that Pakistan has already made this commitment, and it's just a matter of time before it becomes official. The next piece of news we are presenting is another tweet from ISPR. This is the third tweet. You remember, the first tweet was about the Khawarij, that 35 Khawarij came from Afghanistan and they were from India. The name of India was also used and they were sent to hell. This was the first tweet. After that, I don't know if 7, 8 or 10 community notices were issued. Community notices are issued when a post is controversial and people believe that lies are being told. A record was set by the DGISPR's account, but I told you the same day that you will see tweet after tweet and the agenda is clear. They want the public to get tired and say bad things so that eventually we don't care and adopt a completely indifferent policy. We won't take public criticism seriously, just like Mariam Nawaz doesn't take it seriously. So this opinion was formed, discussed and implemented. As soon as the first tweet came, I told you that more tweets would follow. Within 24 hours, another tweet came. And late at night, after 12 o'clock, another tweet came. This is quite interesting. Either the DGISPR's account is being operated by someone in the US, or the access is with someone in the US, which we don't know. They tweet during the day, but the tweets come at night. Now this is something for you to think about too. Why do these tweets happen at 1 in the morning, not during the day? We know that ISPR's office opens around 8 or 8:30 a.m. and runs until 10 or 11 p.m. The media is also running, so if you tweet during the day, it gets discussed. If, for example, you need to tweet on the 7th of July, you would tweet around 9 or 10 a.m. But these tweets are happening late at night. The logic behind it seems to be that there is less traffic at that time, and so fewer community notices are issued. The information quietly circulates in public discourse. This is what I think, but anyway, now this is the third tweet, and the second one was about Captain Colonel Sher Khan Shahid, and this current tweet is about Havildar Lalak Jan Shahid Nishane-Haider. Both of these individuals were awarded the Nishani-Haider. As I've said before, the Pakistani nation always respects its martyrs. Every nation does. We should too. Martyrs belong to everyone and are shared by all. No one should make them controversial, nor should they be used for political purposes. Now there's another very interesting thing in this post, as well as in the previous one. If you look at the screen, you'll notice that there are references to at least 4 people. One is the Army Chief, another is the Chairman Joint Chiefs, then the Air Chief and the Naval Chief. Now there are 2 things here that, in my opinion, shouldn't have been done officially, but were. First, among these 4 personalities, only one name is mentioned, the Field Marshal Asim Munir. For the others, only their titles are mentioned, not their names. I don't understand why this is the case. Are the other officers of lesser rank? Why this different treatment in the tweet? Please let me know if you have any insights. Secondly, based on my understanding, I confirmed with 2 senior retired officers, one a lieutenant general and the other a major general, about who the most senior person in the military is currently. Both of them told me that the senior-most person is the Chairman Joint Chiefs, General Sahir Shamshad, because he oversees all 3 forces. They also mentioned that while Field Marshal Munir is a 5-star officer, his official responsibility is that of Army Chief, and based on that, the Chairman Joint is more senior, officially speaking. However, his name was not mentioned, nor was the Air Chief's or Naval Chief's name. Only the Field Marshal's name was mentioned. It seems like one person is being focused on here. It is also worth noting that this tweet has a community notice attached, and it is unfortunate. In the earlier tweet about Captain Colonel Sher Khan Shahid, I had mentioned that it's sad that even our martyrs are now being used for political purposes. I would say it's for political purposes because you know what has happened. What happened on February 8th, November 26th and May 25th with Imran Khan, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the Women of Pakistan journalists and so on. Now you are fully involved in politics. If you're going to tweet again, why not tweet something that doesn't involve our martyrs? I understand you may feel this shields you, since martyrs belong to everyone, and the whole nation respects them. But doesn't it seem unethical to use them for political purposes, knowing that your tweets will be criticized? My humble request is that you should tweet about other things too. For example, your military cooperation preparations, exercises, meetings, etc. If you want to be criticized, then do it strategically. Instead of always using martyrs in your tweets, why not focus on other things? This is a painful thing for me, and I hope some sense will prevail here. Moving on to the next piece of news. You know that the United States has been targeting TikTok because it's a Chinese-owned social media app. Before this, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even WhatsApp were all American-owned, but TikTok was the only big social media platform that wasn't under American control. It was owned by China. There's also Telegram, which isn't owned by America, but it's a smaller platform. Now, TikTok has been subjected to sanctions. President Trump said that American citizens' data is being collected from TikTok, which led to these sanctions. Initially, it was said that a ban would be imposed, but then it was suggested that TikTok should sell its American operations to a US company, and only then would the sanctions be lifted. The issue with TikTok is being discussed now. Now, the final decision will only be clear once TikTok officially announces it, but it is being discussed in the media that TikTok has decided to launch a new version of the app, a new app altogether. They have a deadline of September 17th, set by President Trump. The new app will launch by September 5th, and the old app will continue for a while before being shut down. Perhaps the new app will be sold off. They may want to keep their data from the old app secure. It's an interesting development. Since America claims to support free speech, if TikTok is forced to sell itself, it will be an interesting turn of events. Let's see how China, the United States, and the world respond. Now, moving on to the next piece of news, which is about Maryam Nawaz. You know that on the 9th and 10th of Muharram, water bottles, food containers, loudspeakers and everything had Maryam Nawaz's pictures on them. This was highly criticized. Now, the response from the PMLN, or Pakistan Muslim League, is very interesting. They are claiming that the picture is old. This is a classic case of their ignorance and not even trying to correct it. They assumed that saying the picture is old would make the issue go away. But people started asking new questions. They said, "Does that mean you have been doing this cheap act before too?" It turns out, last year, during the same time, the PMLN government was in power. So, people are now questioning if this is the first time they are doing such a cheap act, or if it's been happening before too. This weak response has only worsened their situation, and now they have no answer. Finally, the last piece of news I present is about the corruption in Pakistan's Customs and Excise Office, a huge scandal involving the high-priced luxury cars that were being imported into Pakistan. Many of these cars, like Lexus, Range Rover, Prado, Mercedes and BMW, were non-custom paid and were seized by customs. These vehicles, instead of being auctioned for high prices, were now sold off cheaply to their own people. This not only caused a loss to the national exchequer, but also led to the vehicles being seen freely on the streets, now being sold at expensive prices. This corruption, involving billions, took place because those involved at all levels were turning a blind eye to it. Customs officers also took part in this. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.